Allen Parr. Now, here's a guy who's a great Christian influencer and a very big content creator right here on YouTube. And he seems like a genuinely nice guy. But one of his core claims is logically impossible. He teaches that if you leave Christianity, you were never a real Christian in the first place. And this is something I hear all the time, and I'm sure many of you do as well. It's basically the go-to line they throw at anyone who leaves the faith. And that's the ironic part. You've got the nicest guy in the world making one of the most arrogant statements you can make about another person's life. But honestly, isn't that exactly what happens when someone is caught up in a belief system that can't afford to be wrong? The person stays nice, the logic gets twisted. Let's talk about it. The claim that they were never real Christians may sound comforting to people like Allen Parr until you slow it down. On the surface, this idea sounds protective. It gives Christians a sense of security, and it lets them believe that their faith is unshakable, that the people who left were somehow different, somehow weaker, and somehow less sincere. It creates a clean emotional boundary. Real Christians stay, fake Christians leave. It's simple, it's comforting, and it's tidy. But the second you slow it down, the second you actually look at the structure of the claim, it collapses, not emotionally, not spiritually, but logically. If the definition of a true Christian is someone who never leaves, then the claim is true by definition, not because of evidence, not because of experience, just because you redefine the category to make it impossible to challenge. That's not logic. That's a linguistic trick. And it's intellectually dishonest. It's like saying a real friend would never stop being my friend. Okay, but now you've just created a definition where disagreement automatically disqualifies the person. You didn't prove anything. You just protected your own feelings. Now, here's the part that nobody wants to talk about. Millions of people spent years, sometimes decades, praying, serving, believing, evangelizing, crying at the altar. They shaped their entire identity around Christianity, and they were dedicated. And to turn around and say those people were never real Christians, well, this isn't just wrong, it's claiming that you know more about their inner life than they do. And this is the epitome of arrogance. Just stop and think about how ridiculous that is. You're telling someone, I understand your sincerity better than you understand your own sincerity. That's not humility. No way. That's not kindness, and it's not discernment. That's someone's belief system speaking for them. In psychology, this is called epistemic arrogance. and it's assuming authority over someone else's internal experience. And the irony, it's usually said by people who think that they're being loving and humble. Their logic goes like this: real Christians never leave, and you left. Therefore, you were never a real Christian. That's a closed loop and circular reasoning. There's no way to test it, no way to challenge it, and no way to falsify it. And any idea that can't be tested isn't a truth claim. It's a shield. It's a way of protecting the belief system from ever having to confront reality. And reality is often the enemy of unfalsifiable beliefs. Now, here's the real problem. If someone stays in the faith, that proves Christianity is true. If someone leaves the faith, that also proves Christianity is true. When both outcomes prove the very same thing, you're not dealing with logic anymore. You're dealing with a belief system that's rigged to always come out on top. A belief that can't be wrong is also a belief that can't be evaluated. And if you can't evaluate it, you can't call it truth. It just doesn't work that way. The truth is that people do change their beliefs. People grow, and people learn, and people move past frameworks that once made sense to them. That's not proof they were never sincere. It's proof that they're human. Imagine telling someone who left a political party or a career or a relationship, well, you must have never really believed in it. It's absurd. But religion gets away with it because the belief system demands certainty. It demands loyalty, and it demands permanence. And when permanence breaks, the system has to blame the person, not the beloved belief. The belief must always be protected. And here's the part that really stings the most. If Christianity allowed for the possibility that sincere believers can leave, then Christians would have to ask harder questions. They'd have to actually consider that their belief is not a guarantee. They'd have to consider that faith may actually lead them astray. They'd have to consider that people can be fully committed and still walk away. That's terrifying for a belief system built on certainty. So instead of facing the questions, the system makes you the problem. The person using the argument stays very nice, but the logic gets twisted into a pretzel. And look, Allen Parr is still a really nice guy. I'm not questioning his character. I'm questioning the claim he keeps repeating over and over again. Because when you tell someone who spent years sincerely believing, serving, and shaping their entire identity around Christianity that they were never really Christians, you're not defending truth. You're defending a system. And that's the tragedy here. Good people end up repeating bad logic over and over because the belief system demands it. The person stays very nice, The logic is what gets mangled. And if your faith needs you to rewrite someone else's past just to keep it intact, maybe the problem isn't the people leaving. Maybe, just maybe, the problem is the claim itself. Now, if you like this type of content, please subscribe, like, and comment. I really want to hear from you. Another thing you can do is click that notification bell. It really means a difference. And for the few people who may want to support my work and my channel in a small financial way, you can buy me a coffee. The link is in the description. Until next time, folks, think rationally and always be happy.